Okay, so let's dive in. Have you ever noticed something small,
Sure.
just a tiny detail in your day-to-day,
Yeah.
and it suddenly pulls you into this whole other world you didn't even know was there? Maybe something complex, even a bit dangerous.
Oh, definitely. That's often how these really tangled stories start, isn't it? From something overlooked.
Well, that's exactly the kind of journey we're taking today in this deep dive. We've got these sources, a whole stack of them, and they lay out this fascinating, um, really complex story.
Right. Mystery, corporate power
Hidden
plays.
environmental stuff, personal struggles,
Raw.
all woven together. And it kicks off with something incredibly ordinary.
Like a flat tire.
Exactly, a flat tire and a lost cufflink, believe it or not. So our mission today is to really dig into this narrative, pull out the key insights,
Understand the connections.
trace how everything links up. From like high-stakes water politics in Southern California.
Down to the personal lives of the people caught up in it all.
So let's jump in. What really stands out to you right at the beginning?
Well, I think it's how the sources use that flat tire incident. It's like
Yeah.
the first thread, right? You pull on it, and suddenly this much bigger, much darker conspiracy starts to unravel.
Right.
It connects things you wouldn't expect. The inside of a water district, someone's family history, a serious environmental threat. It all gets pulled together.
And right at the center of that unraveling, we've got Rachel Chavez.
Yes.
The sources introduce her, and she's not in some boardroom. She's right there, getting her hands dirty.
Yeah, running this parking garage in LA, inherited it from her grandfather.
And we see her changing a tire. She's observant, notices everything, the smell of oil, how customers act.
Very grounded. And she's deeply tied to the place, isn't she? Lives right there.
In an apartment she made from an old storeroom with her cat, Clancy.
And her background, which the sources reveal piece by piece, is really crucial for understanding her resilience, but also her caution.
Tell us about that, her father.
Right, Marty. He was a gambler, apparently lost the family farm up in the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta.
Okay, that location becomes important later, doesn't it?
Very important, yeah. And her mother, Madeline, died after a horse riding accident. Her mom's family, the Feinbergs, were wealthy, and they didn't approve of Marty at all.
So family tensions there.
Big time. And Rachel actually dropped out of college to look after her mother. It was only later Marty told her the farm was gone.
Wow, that's rough.
Yeah. She credits her grandfather, Marvin Feinberg, for the garage, and luckily her mother left her enough money to pay off the back taxes, secure the place.
But there's more to her past, right? The sources mention personal struggles.
Exactly. They make it clear she's dealt with addiction and is in recovery. And this history, it really shapes who she is, how she reacts to things, her distrust of authority.
Determination.
Absolutely. It all plays into how she handles what comes next.
And that history, that garage setting, it brings her right into contact with this pivotal character, Jason Karl, and the start of the whole mystery.
Right. He's the general manager of Interurban Water District.
Yeah.
Big client for the garage.
And that first meeting is described pretty vividly. Jason's there, impatient, while Rachel's changing his flat.
Tapping his shiny wingtip shoes, yeah. Impatient.
And that's when she finds it, in the hubcap. This small, kind of distinctive cufflink.
With a tortoise etched on it.
Seems like such a minor thing.
Yeah.
But the sources really flag it. This is the first clue, the first breadcrumb.
Totally. A detail anyone else might have missed, but it becomes incredibly significant. Meanwhile, kind of across the street, in Jason Karl's world, we meet Charlotte Emerson.
Oh, the chairman of Interurban's board. Sounds formidable.
She is. The sources paint this picture of her watching scrub jays fighting, thinking humans are worse. She's deep in the water business in LA.
60 years, wasn't it?
60 years. Involved way back with tapping the Colorado River, building aqueducts. She's 76, meticulous, connected. Her father, Dan Emerson, was apparently a huge figure in Southern California water development.
A dynasty, almost.
Sort of. And Charlotte's got this clear goal. She wants to retire, but only after winning this last battle, whatever that is. It's her legacy project.
It's interesting. The sources note she's surprised a woman is running the garage, even after her long career.
Yeah, a little detail that speaks volumes about the world she operated in.
So we have these key players. Rachel, grounded, maybe a bit wary. Jason, the impatient exec with the odd cufflink. Charlotte, the powerful matriarch focused on her legacy.
And then, bam, the story takes a sharp turn.
Yeah, the sources report Jason Karl is found dead, way out east of LA, about 140 miles.
Initially reported as a hit and run on some country road.
That death just changes everything, doesn't it? It raises the stakes immediately.
Absolutely. And right around this time, we meet Hank Sullivan. He's a senior water resources engineer at Interurban.
Okay, another insider. What's his deal?
Sources describe him physically rangy, sandy hair, blue eyes, hates wearing suits for meetings.
Relatable.
Yeah. And he has this feeling, this sense that things are shifting in the water industry. Something's changing.
And his path crosses Rachel's.
It does. Late one night at the garage, he locks his keys in his car. Seems like just bad luck, right? But it leads to this really critical discovery.
This is where Rachel's observant nature kicks in again, isn't it?
Exactly. She shows Hank something she found parked down on level C, a damaged interurban Cadillac DeVille.
And the sources describe the damage.
Oh, yeah. Big dent, torn bumper, missing headlight, and these small, irregular brown splotches.
What?
That's what Rachel thinks, her gut feeling. Plus, the metal's still warm. It was parked very recently.
Wow. So not just some random damage.
Hank tries to suggest maybe it hit a deer, plausible deniability, perhaps.
But Rachel's skeptical.
Very skeptical. And this car, potentially linked to Jason's so-called hit and run, it throws everything into question.
The plot thickens, as they say.
Definitely. And as Rachel's grappling with this, another figure from her past shows up, Bruno.
Okay, who's Bruno?
Friend of her dad, Marty, knew her grandfather too. Described as stocky, rolling gait, like a prize fighter.
Sounds like a character.
He visits her apartment in the garage, and he makes these two really unexpected proposals. First, marriage, but framed weirdly like, you got no wife and you got no china.
China.
Yeah, he tells this story about carrying his grandmother's china over the mountains from Italy as a kid. His point seems to be that tradition, legacy, the china, is as important as basic survival stuff.
Interesting philosophy. What was this second proposal?
A partnership in the garage business. But the sources also note something else here. Bruno really complains about environmentalists, their demands for land, for water.
Ah, hinting at those bigger conflicts again.
Exactly, it plants a seed.
So, does Rachel tell Bruno about the car?
She does. She shares her suspicion that the Cadillac in her garage might be the car that killed Jason.
And how does Bruno react?
Strongly. Tells her to stay out of it. Says it's dangerous to get involved with the police. He even mentions her old lawyer, Aaron Reiner, saying he could explain why it's a bad idea for her specifically.
So reinforcing that distrust of authority.
Absolutely. And remember, her dad Marty had also made her promise not to go to the cops. It's a pattern rooted in her past.
That creates a real conflict for her, doesn't it? Knowing something potentially vital, but being afraid to go to the authorities.
A huge internal conflict.
Yeah.
But she does find someone she feels she can talk to. Goldie.
Goldie, the manager of the interurban cleaning crew.
That's her. Described as a black woman, calm presence. And interestingly, she's training to be a police officer.
Oh, wow. That's a direct contrast to Rachel's feelings about the police.
Right. Goldie supervises this group of adults with intellectual disabilities, including her son, Peter. Rachel opens up to her about the car, the possible blood, and she shows Goldie the tortoise cufflink. Or tie tack, actually.
And Goldie recognizes it.
Confirms it belonged to Jason Karl. Yes.
So Rachel explains why she doesn't trust the police.
She does. Mentions a bad past incident, something involving Rampart cops, and she's convinced they just wouldn't believe her anyway.
And what does Goldie say? Does she understand?
She acknowledges Rachel's reasons, her history, but she challenges her too. Says something like, it ain't good enough as a reason to stay silent unless Rachel's actually still wanted for something.
Puts it back on her.
Yeah. And asks this really pointed question. What if someone killed you and the one person who knew it wouldn't say anything?
Ugh, that is hard. Forces you to think about the ethics of it all.
Exactly. The moral weight of silence versus seeking justice, even through a flawed system.
Well, Rachel's wrestling with this. The sources introduce another person connected to her, Lonnie, her employee.
Right, Lonnie. Rachel apparently found him unconscious when she first took over the garage, helped him get sober, shows her compassionate side.
Okay, what's his role?
He helps her out, deliveries, errands. Described as short, thin, mid-20s, seems like a positive relationship.
No sense of butt coming?
Yeah. Tragically, the story takes another dark turn here. Rachel finds Lonnie dead in his apartment.
Oh no. How?
Looks like an overdose. But there's this strange detail the sources emphasize. A faint odor of garlic on his sheets.
Garlic, that's very
specific. And Rachel finds a plastic bag with white granules, looks like sugar. She takes it. That garlic smell detail, it seems random, but it becomes absolutely critical later.
Okay, file that away. Garlic odor, white granules.
Meanwhile, back inside Interurban, we meet Harry Hunsinger, director of the Water Quality Lab.
Water Quality Lab. Sounds potentially relevant.
Definitely. He's described very visually broad shoulders, perfect lab coat, designer cologne, super white teeth, kind of slick, maybe.
Camera ready, the sources say.
Yeah, exactly. Rachel meets him delivering a package to the lab. He gives her this brief, slightly self-important tour, talks about trace elements, toxic compounds, water being the universal solvent.
Standard lab stuff.
Seems like it, but then he takes the package Rachel delivered, locks it in a drawer, and dismisses it as totally unimportant.
Suspicious.
A little bit, yeah. Makes you wonder what was in it.
We also get introduced to Andrew Greer.
Yes, Director of Human Resources at Interurban, described as a black man, gold-rimmed glasses, rosy face, starched shirts.
And the sources give us his internal perspective.
They do. We hear his thoughts about feeling like a token in a largely white organization, questioning if he's sold out, comparing himself to his activist sister, Polly.
Adds another layer to the internal dynamics of Interurban.
And we learn he found Jason Karl difficult to work for. Just another piece of the puzzle about the dead manager.
Okay, so back to those white granules Rachel found with Lonnie.
Well, the plot thickens there. Peter, Goldie's son, the one who works on the cleaning crew, finds an envelope with the exact same kind of white granules.
No way. Where?
In Jason Karl's bathroom trash can at Interurban headquarters.
Jason Karl's office. So the dead manager had the same stuff Lonnie apparently overdosed on.
Looks like it. Peter gives it to Goldie, and Goldie brings it straight to Rachel. Now they have 2 samples of this mystery substance.
This is getting complicated.
And it leads to a pretty tense encounter. Rachel and Goldie are in Jason's old office, which is now Charlotte Emerson's office late at night. They're looking for that tortoise tie tack again.
And Charlotte finds him.
Yep. Walks in on them. Charlotte sees Rachel holding the tie tack. Rachel tries to play it cool, implies they just found it on the floor.
Does Charlotte buy it?
She recognizes Rachel. They give some cover story about Goldie losing something. Charlotte seems tense at first, but then she kind of calms down, takes the tie tack, says she'll turn it in.
But Goldie's spooked.
Totally unnerved, warns Rachel about Charlotte. And this whole thing gets Rachel thinking, what if those granules aren't drugs?
What else could they be?
What if it's selenium from the water quality lab? And maybe that's what Jason found out about? Maybe that's why he was killed?
Selenium. Linking back to the lab director, Hunsinger.
Potentially. This is the moment Rachel really shifts gears, from just noticing things to actively investigating.
So what's her plan?
She confirms the 2 samples look identical, then decides she needs to get the stuff analyzed, find that damaged Cadillac, and somehow get inside the lab to see what's going on.
Risky. Does she ask for help?
She reaches out to Goldie, starting to build this little unofficial team because she still doesn't trust the official channels.
And the analysis. Does she find out what the granules are?
Yes. Huge breakthrough. She takes the samples to a place called Benchmark Analytic. The tech there confirms it's selenium.
Selenium. Not a street drug.
Not a drug, an element, toxic in certain forms, he says, and then he drops the bombshell detail.
Let me guess. Garlic.
You got it. He specifically notes that a large dose gives the breath a faint odor of garlic.
Lonnie.
Exactly. Confirms the granules found in Lonnie's apartment were selenium, directly links his death to this substance found in Jason Karl's office.
Wow. Okay, this is bigger than just an overdose.
Much bigger. And suddenly the scope widens dramatically, geographically too. Rachel's out fishing with Hank Sullivan.
The engineer from Interurban she met.
Right. They're at Interurban's Coyote Reservoir, and a small plane crashes nearby.
A plane crash.
Seriously.
Seriously. They go check it out. The plane's empty of people, but it's full of bricks labeled WO Global.
WO Global.
And cartons of white crystals. Looks exactly like the selenium granules.
So smuggling selenium. That's what they think. Smuggling something. Anyway, they grab a carton of the crystals, and they call the sheriff.
Good. Report it.
But here's the kicker. The sources say the sheriff's department later claims no crash site was found in that area.
What? But they were there. They saw it.
Exactly. Makes the authorities look suspicious now, too. Either incompetent or maybe covering something up.
As Rachel digs deeper, does it get personal? Does the danger increase?
Oh, absolutely. The consequences start hitting close to home. Her apartment gets ransacked.
Okay, that's a clear warning.
And her cat, Clancy, is missing, which is just cool. She tries to find the damaged Cadillac at body shops, but no luck, it's vanished.
Someone's covering tracks.
And then it gets even worse. Her father, Marty, he gets into a car accident.
Oh, is he?
He's injured, but alive. But here's the thing. He was driving Rachel's car.
Rachel's car. Was it Targeted.
That's the scary question. And the police question Marty about the crash. It brings the danger right into her family.
This is getting intense. Does she find out more about the selenium itself?
Yeah, through Bruno, actually. Remember Bruno, the family friend?
Who wanted to marry her and complained about environmentalists?
That's the one. He tells Rachel about selenium poisoning happening up in the Delta wetlands. Says it's threatening his farm, his livelihood.
The Delta again. So it connects.
Rachel realizes it all connects. The selenium that killed Lonnie, the stuff in Jason's office, the cargo in the plane, and now this environmental disaster hitting Bruno's farm. It's all the same thing.
Massive hidden operation.
Looks like it. And this pushes Rachel to take an even bigger risk. She decides she needs to get inside that water quality lab.
Harry Hunsinger's domain. How does she manage that?
She does a clandestine search of Hunsinger's office, finds keys in his desk drawer.
Lucky break. Or maybe not so lucky, depending on what she finds.
Right. She uses the keys to open a locked storeroom in the lab, and inside...
What? More selenium.
Cartons labeled WO Global, full of bricks and white crystals, identical to the stuff from the crashed plane.
Bingo, confirms the lab, and Hunsinger are definitely involved.
Yeah, but this discovery leads directly to a confrontation. Hunsinger finds her there, in the storeroom.
Oh boy. This can't end well.
It doesn't. The sources describe a struggle. And somehow, tragically, Hunsinger ends up falling from a window washer's platform, outside the 5th floor lab window.
He falls to his death.
To his death. Rachel manages to get out of the building just as the police are arriving.
Does she get caught?
She's stopped, questioned briefly by an officer, Milton, but he lets her go. However, remember the earlier visit to Charlotte's office?
With Goldie, when Charlotte found them.
Yeah. Rachel left fingerprints then, and that detail is about to become a major problem for her.
Always the details. So Hunsinger's dead, the lab connection is exposed. Is there any relief?
There's a brief moment. Hank and Goldie meet up with Rachel. They hear the news that the water quality lab has been busted, presumably because of what Rachel uncovered, or maybe the fall triggered it.
Small victory.
Feels like it. They celebrate a little. Rachel's injured from the lab escape and tries to downplay it. Goldie, ever the friend, warns her about the stress, the risk of relapse.
Still looking out for her.
Always. Tells her she needs to be honest with Hank. Then Marty shows up. They tell him a partial story, and he's supportive. A reminder of that complicated family connection.
But the danger's not over, is it? Charlotte Emerson.
Right. The story takes another dark turn. News breaks that Charlotte Emerson is dead.
How?
It's reported as a suicide, but Rachel, she doesn't buy it for a second.
Why not? What does she know?
The sources say Rachel actually found her, dead in her chair, with this small crater almost above her nose, and no gun right there, immediately visible.
That doesn't sound like a straightforward suicide.
Not at all. And what makes it even more suspicious is that Charlotte had just agreed to help Rachel. She told Rachel the Cadillac involved in Jason's death was checked out to her, Charlotte, but that she wasn't driving it. She was going to find out who was.
So Charlotte was about to reveal a crucial piece of information. And now she's dead.
Exactly. Looks a lot like murder to silence her.
Rachel must be terrified now. She knows too much.
Absolutely. And her fears are confirmed when her apartment gets ransacked again.
They're definitely hunting her.
She goes into hiding, finds a cabin near Lake Arrowhead, changes her appearance, dyes her hair, wears glasses, total disguise.
Smart move. Does anyone know where she is?
Her friend Irene contacts her, warns her the police are looking for her now because of those fingerprints from Charlotte's office.
The fingerprints came back to bite her.
Yep. And Goldie gets more info from her police contact. Apparently, there are doubts even within the police force about Charlotte's death being a suicide. Something about the fingerprints on the gun, they don't quite add up.
So the official story is shaky.
Very shaky. Suggests murder is a strong possibility.
Hank and Goldie find her at the cabin, right? Time to put the pieces together.
Yes. They all meet there, and it's like this big puzzle-solving session described in the sources, connecting all the dots.
Okay, lay it out for us.
Selenium. It killed Lonnie. It was in Jason's office. It was in the crash plane's cargo. It's poisoning Bruno's farm area in the Delta. It was being handled, somehow, in Hunsinger's lab.
The connections are undeniable.
They figure Jason Karl must have stumbled onto the selenium operation at Interurban, found out something he shouldn't have.
And got killed for it. The hit and run wasn't random.
That seems almost certain. And they consider the possibility that the attack on Marty in Rachel's car, maybe the target was actually Rachel.
Because she was getting too close.
Exactly. And then there's the detail about Rachel's car key, maybe the one with the tortoise fob from Jason, being found with her damaged car after Marty's accident. How did it get there? Was her car involved somehow?
So many questions still.
And just when they think they're getting a handle on it, the sources throw in another curveball about Bruno.
What about him? Still complaining about selenium ruining his farm.
Well, Rachel finds records, and they show Bruno hasn't been selling land because of the selenium problem. He's been buying it. Lots of it.
Buying poisoned land. Why would he do that?
Great question. It totally contradicts his story of being a victim. Makes you wonder what his angle is. Is he involved somehow? Benefiting.
Okay, Bruno's back on the suspect list, or at least the person acting weirdly list.
Definitely adds another layer of intrigue.
Amidst all this danger and suspicion, the sources mention a personal moment between Hank and Rachel.
Yeah, briefly, a romantic moment on the beach, but Rachel pulls back.
Why? Still the trust issues?
Seems like it. The sources suggest her past, her struggles, everything she's going through. It just makes intimacy and trust incredibly difficult for her right now.
Understandable, given the circumstances.
But then, left alone again, that paranoia kicks back in hard. She starts questioning Hank.
Even Hank, after he's been helping her.
Yeah. Is he involved? Why does he keep moving her around? Her deep-seated distrust just takes over. She even decides she needs to warn Goldie about Hank.
Wow. She really feels isolated.
Completely.
Yeah.
Which leads us towards the final confrontation. It happens in a really unexpected place, an airfield.
An airfield. Why there?
She encounters a woman named Alexandra Miller, someone she'd apparently seen jogging earlier, very briefly. Alexandra offers her a ride in a hot air balloon.
A hot air balloon. That sounds random and kind of ominous.
Extremely ominous. Once they're up in the air, Alexandra drops all pretense.
Okay, here it comes. What's the confession?
Alexandra admits she killed Jason Karl. She was the one driving the Cadillac that day.
Not Charlotte.
No. The car was checked out to Charlotte, but Alexandra was driving. She hit Jason, and she admits she killed Charlotte, too.
Why Charlotte?
Because Charlotte found out Alexandra was the driver, and Charlotte was going to tell someone, likely contacting Alexandra about it.
So Alexandra silenced them both. But why did she hit Jason in the first place? And what about the selenium?
Alexandra reveals her motive. She's been deliberately poisoning the Delta wetlands with sodium selenite.
She's the source of the pollution.
Yes. She got the selenium compound from Harry Hunsinger at the lab. Apparently, Hunsinger was running his own side hustle, an illegal drug operation, using those double UO global materials.
Ah, that explains the bricks and secrecy.
Right. And he supplied Alexandra with the selenium she needed. Her goal, radical environmentalism.
How does poisoning the Delta achieve that?
Her plan was to make the selenium pollution so bad it would destroy farming in the area, turn public opinion completely against agriculture, and force massive land conservation, create an environmental disaster to achieve her aims.
That's extreme and twisted.
Absolutely. And because Charlotte told Alexandra that Rachel knew things, Alexandra's final move is to kill Rachel too, by dropping her from the balloon.
Okay, this is it. Rachel's trapped, high in the air with the killer. What happens?
Here's where it gets really intense. Rachel, even though she's injured, she was prepared. She pulls out a syringe she'd hidden in her boot.
A syringe. With what?
Selenium solution, made from the sample she took from Lonnie's apartment way back at the beginning.
No way. She weaponized the evidence.
And a desperate act of self-defense, yes. During a struggle in the balloon basket, she manages to inject Alexandra with it.
She injects Alexandra with the selenium.
Yes. And the sources report Alexandra dies from the poisoning.
Wow. Talk about turning the tables. What about Rachel? She's still stuck in a balloon.
She has to figure out how to land it. Manages to pull the deflation cord, but it's a crash landing. She's injured further.
But alive. Do Hank and Goldie find her?
They do. They find her after the crash. She tells them everything: Alexandra's confession, the fight, the injection.
For self-defense, surely.
They discuss that possibility. Given Alexandra confessed to multiple murders and was actively trying to kill Rachel, it seems like a strong case for self-defense.
Any loose ends tied up?
Goldie shares what she found in Charlotte's office, that paper under the rug that specifically mentions selenium, concrete proof linking Charlotte and therefore Alexandra to the whole conspiracy.
It provides corroboration.
Exactly. And amidst all the chaos, Hank gives Rachel a silver ring, a moment of connection.
And any news about Clancy the cat?
Yes. The sources offer one final small bit of comfort. Marty finds Clancy, brings him back to Rachel.
Ah, that's good. Something familiar restored.
A small positive note after everything she went through.
So, reflecting on all this, what does it really mean? We started with a flat tire, a cufflink.
Yeah, seemingly tiny, random things. And our deep dive into these sources has just unspooled this incredibly complex web. Secrets, ambition, deadly consequences.
It shows how hidden operations, like in that water lab, can connect to huge issues. Radical environmentalism, farmer struggles, personal tragedies, multiple murders.
It really highlights how interconnected things can be, right? And how the smallest clue, a symbol on a cufflink, the smell of garlic, can be the key that unlocks a massive, dangerous conspiracy hiding just beneath the surface.
It definitely leaves you thinking. In a world that feels so full of information, but also hidden agendas, how do we really know what's true? What unseen battles are being fought right under our noses?
Makes you wonder how vigilant we need to be. How do you spot the truth when the biggest secrets are sometimes hidden in the most mundane details?
Something to think about, maybe, the next time you notice something just a little bit out of place.